What's going on, everybody? Trevor in here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ranch. Today, we're going to be talking about my current personal 5 favorite budget bourbons. Like I always say, this is a personal preference video. These are my current favorite budget bourbons. So your results could totally vary. Your list could be totally different from mine. And in fact, I hope your list is different from mine. My goal is to show you some bottles that I think are really good that are available to you out there so you can go try them and formulate your own personal favorite list. All right, so what constitutes budget bourbon? To me, there's a bunch of different things, and in fact, my list today kind of goes into 2 parts. One is the cheaper, actually cheaper options, sub $20. That's budget to me. Part 2 of my list are bottles that are a little more expensive, but I think compared to what they are and the price that you would pay for them, it is a great option. To me, that is still budget. It's a budget version of what they are. So without further ado, let's just get into the list. It'll make a lot more sense once we get to them. Bottle number 1 is gonna go to Evan Williams 1783. This has been a favorite of mine from the beginning. This is one of the bottles that got me into bourbon because of how cheap it was and then how much I really enjoyed it. I always say this when we talk about Evan Williams 1783. I always mention the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. I think a lot of people might prefer, or they rave about, the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. I've never really been that big of a fan of it. I think it's good. It's very well worthy to be on lists like this too, but I always preferred this bottle over that one. So I think if you're one of those people who has tried the Bottled in Bond, you didn't really care for it, I think it's like a less nuttier version of the Bottled in Bond. I think that's what I really, don't really care for. It's too nutty, and I think this is a little bit more balanced. I was loving this stuff before they even bumped it up to 90 proof. Now that it's 90 proof, to me, it's a home run. It's a solid bottle. In fact, I think the entire Evan Williams line is just a great budget-friendly option, especially people trying to get into bourbon. You don't want to break the bank. It's a good option. All right, moving on. The second bottle on my list is another super cheap, super easy to find bottle. It's everywhere. Old Forester Signature, the 100 proof bourbon. This is easily one of my favorite daily sipping bourbons. It's a knockout for the price. It's around $20, maybe less, depending on where you're at. I think it's a great segue, too, for people. They always hear about Old Forester 1920 as just being this amazing bottle, and they might skip over this one because of that. I think this is just another tool in the set. Okay, I always find myself reaching for this one first, and then I might move up to the 1920, or vice versa. I might start with some 1920, and then I'll move to the cheaper stuff as, the night progresses. Again, I think this is a solid daily sipping bourbon. It's full of flavor, not a whole lot of young, youthful, grainy notes. Also, I think it's a great, great stepping stone for anyone who's getting into bourbon. I think you're gonna love it, and then you can use it as a stepping stone. Maybe move up, try the Old Forester 1897, try the 1920, but this is a budget option that is great. It's available, and it might be a good starting point, or a great daily sipping bourbon for you. So easily one of my favorite pours. All right, moving on. Bottle number 3 is gonna go to Early Times Bottled in Bond. Okay, I used to leave this bottle off of lists that I would do, mainly because I used to not be able to get this bottle. I would have to travel out of state. I would have to have people pick me up bottles, whatever. I could not get it here. With Sazerac acquiring this brand, I have now started seeing this in my state, and on top of that, I have found it cheaper than I have ever seen it before. I walked out of the store the other day with this bottle. I think it was like $16. What? Bottled in Bond bourbon, 1 liter. 1 liter. Under $20. Crazy. Talk about budget, talk about value. And what I always say, the quantity, so the 1 liter itself doesn't make this amazing. You could put terrible bourbon in a bottle, give you 1 liter, but that doesn't make it good. It's the fact that they give you 1 liter and the stuff inside is still good quality. Sazerac updated the bottle a little bit. You know, you got a little metal tag versus the paper tag that used to be on there. The bottle's a little bit sleeker. But for as far as I can tell, just off of memory, and you know, that'd be interesting to side by side the new bottling versus the old. But from memory, it tastes exactly what I would think early times would taste like. It tastes just as good as I remember it being. So it doesn't seem like they have sacrificed quality to get it out to more places. I think it's a really great bottle, a great value. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, duh, obviously early times, it's amazing. But I'm seeing it more places. Hopefully more and more places keep getting it, because this is, I think, would be a staple on a lot of people's bars. A top tier bottle for just being a budget daily sipping bourbon. All right, we're moving on to the next 2 bottles. Now, these 2 bottles are going to be a little bit different. They're in their own little category. We're talking budget barrel proof bourbon. To me, the starting point for barrel proof bourbon is usually around $60, and then it just goes up from there. So I feel like most bottles start at $60. These bottles are below that. First up on the list, Blue Note Juke Joint Whiskey. This is a single barrel, the Store Picks uncut, unfiltered version of the Juke Joint. This one's 118.6. Uncut, unfiltered, cost me under $40. Are you kidding me? The regular Juke Joint is around $29. In fact, and I don't know, this might have been a total mistake, but this bottle was also $30. I think the price of these are supposed to be closer to $40, but still, even at $40, that's insane. Uncut, unfiltered bourbon, $40. I don't know who they're sourcing from, but it's coming from Kentucky, distilled in Kentucky, and then it's bottled in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're getting Kentucky uncut, unfiltered, barrel-proof bourbon for under $40. To me, that's just crazy. It's opening this realm of budget, almost daily sipping barrel-proof bourbons, and we're seeing more and more of this happening. I think it's great. I think this tastes amazing. To me, this is a hidden little gem. I don't know if people aren't buying it because they don't know what it is. They don't want to give something a shot that they don't really know about. I don't know if they just think Tennessee has a bad rap with bourbon. I don't know what the case is. I've been raving about this stuff. It tastes really good, it's very affordable, and it's delicious. Don't know the reach. So that is a caveat. I do not know how available these are, but I will definitely say if you see store picks of these, they're totally worth picking up. If you're out traveling, going to different states, checking out bourbon selections, be on the lookout for picks of these. They are really good, great value bourbons, in what I'm dubbing budget barrel-proof bourbon. All right, moving on. The last bottle on the list, sticking with the trend of budget barrel-proof bourbon. This is a new guy on the block, just did a video on it. Smoke Wagon Uncut the Younger. I know people are very familiar with Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered. This is the newest batch, very new to the market batch, Uncut the Younger. They're taking younger barrels, they're putting them out uncut, unfiltered, barrel-proof strength range, and they're gonna be charging $40, $45 for it, making this new bracket, this new category of barrel-proof bourbon at an affordable price, accessible. It's fantastic. And just like the Juke Joint with the Smoke Wagon, the Younger, it does not feel like they are sacrificing the quality by making it cheaper. It's not like they're going, we're just gonna have to make this suck to make it cheaper. No, they're putting out a really good product and keeping it affordable. I just think it goes to show the power and the expertise these guys have with blending these barrels and creating a really good flavor profile without relying on, ultra aged barrels or jacking the price up to seem like they're fancier than they are. They care about putting out good stuff, and they care about the consumer getting it for a reasonable price. Friggin' love it. So there we have it, guys. Those are my current 5 favorite budget bourbons. That's a mouthful. Let me know down in the comments what your list would be. It really does help people who are trying to formulate their own opinion on which bottles to get next. And again, this is my personal list, so I encourage everyone to try these things yourself, formulate your own opinions, read others' comments, and kind of gather info to help determine which bottles you want to get next. So if you like the video, leave a like on it. It really does help out the channel. If you want to support me more, there's plenty of ways to do so in the description. If you want access to special merchandise as well as access to barrel picks, check out the Patreon page in the description. And until next time, guys, I'm Trev Wilson. I'll see you in the next video.